Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's live stream, playing with Logic Analyzer. Hi, Trina. Trina's here. Say hello.
Hey. Hi.
And where can they find you?
At trinastech.com.
Okay. Good night, everybody. No, sorry.
Yeah. That's it. That's all we were doing. If anybody's interested, I am trying to get a multimeter and oscilloscope all in one. So if you go to trinastech.com and go to my coffee, you will see a goal. Go donate to it.
A goal. Did that come through?
It did, yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to get 180 Canadian raised, which for those who are American in the chat, which I think is only Jesse, is
Hello,
like
Jesse.
$18. So
Nice. Let me see here. Oh, okay. We can see. Why is it not showing? Okay, I'm just playing around with some settings, folks. Sorry about that. Who do we have? Okay, we have in the chat, we have Thomas Armstrong. Hello, Thomas. Hello, Trina. Hello, I-80. I can't talk, sorry.
Say Jesse. Just say Jesse.
Hello, Jesse. And thank you, Jesse. I didn't realize that you were streaming at 7 o'clock tonight. My apologies. So thank you so much for moving it to 8 o'clock. Hopefully, if Trina doesn't talk a lot, we'll be done before 8 o'clock. But if not, you know.
All right, well, let me tell you a long story about how I try to use them.
All right, good night, everybody. And hello, One Bit. And who else do we have? We have Al's Retro Geek Lab and Ian and Cathar. And who else?
That's it. Carther is the last one in.
All right. Well, thanks, everyone. We're going to get right into this. Before Trina gets into her long story, we'll talk about that in a few moments. But what I want to show you was something I've been playing with for a little while now, and I thought it was really cool. And I want to share with everybody. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch cameras here. And I'm going to make myself big. There we go. So today we're going to be looking at this. Now, this is a Logic Analyzer, and it's pretty cool. It's not that expensive. I think it's like $20. What it is, it's a board with a Pi Pico. You can put the regular Pico or the Pico Pico 2W for the Wi-Fi, but you can also use a regular Pico apparently. But I have the Pico 2 on here, and you'll see why in a minute, why I have that and why I put a heatsink. So basically, the board, you just got to solder on the Pi Pico on it, or in this case Pico 2, and then you get the software and off you go. And so what I'm going to show you, and what this does, it gives you headers on 24 pins, or just 24 channels. You can select here if you want to use an external power or the power internally, and basically allows you then to plug in a device like this, or right into the, you can use a device like this where you just clip on to the chips. But tonight what we're going to do is we're going to be looking at two different ways of using it. This one right now is set up to use this clip. It's a chip clip. It clips onto your whatever chip you want to play with. And you can get signals, and it comes into this box. And then from here, you run your USB cable. If you use the wireless, you don't need to, but you run your USB cable like this into your computer, and then you have software. Now, the software is really cool. There's a version for Windows, Linux, and Mac, so there's no excuse why you can't play with one. Like I said, this is not expensive. I believe you can get them made up at PCB Way. I'm looking to see if I can I'm trying to get in contact with the developer of this. It's Dr. Guzman. Dr. Guzman. And Yeah, he's working on a new version of the software, which we'll be playing with tonight. And I'll show you why the new version is cooler. So let me put this aside for now because we're going to be using this board for testing on a Commodore 64 in a bit. But when I first started playing with this thing, hold on, let me just see if I can change some things around. Oh, okay. That'll work, I guess. No, we'll go that way. All right. So what we're going to do, what I want to do tonight is show the board working. Although I want to go full screen. Sorry, Trina. Trina, could you mind keeping tabs on the chat for me if anybody shows up, please?
Jack 68K just joined. Hey,
Jack
Jack.
68K. I'm glad you're here. He's not 69 or 67. He's 68K. All right. So what I've done is I've hooked up the logic analyzer, and I've set it up on the Peaker board. Now, this is a board that I've worked on. I thought up of this, and with Gut Bomb, he helped me out. We got a board working, and so it plugs into your SE30. So this is just for the SE30. It plugs in, and we get signals. Let me just show you that. I'm gonna turn on my little doodiggy, and we get power, and we can see we have all kinds of lights and all kinds of good stuff happening on it. Now on the board, let me see if I can zoom in a bit here. Yep. So as you can see, along each pin of the IC, there's an LED, obviously, but there are points on here where you can just put your logic probe or your oscilloscope on there and take measurements, or your multimeter, whatever. But on mine, I put headers, and why did I put headers is because then I can hook it all up into a logic analyzer, and this came out at the right time for me to play around with. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug this in the computer. I'm running it on Windows. I have it on my Linux laptop, but I haven't set it up for the stream. So we'll just use Windows. But if you don't like Windows, then I'm sorry. If you do,
all right, I gotta go. Sorry.
Yeah, but it's the same interface for the Mac, Windows, or Linux. So it's really simple. Nice. We're going to get into that in a moment. So let me plug this in.
I'm also going to say hi to Dave Bradley, who just joined the chat.
David, how's it going, buddy? Glad you're here. Who else do we have? That's it. David.
That's all that's new. Yeah.
Dave's a good friend of mine. He lives in Toronto. Trina, he's out in Markham, I believe.
Okay.
So
so I don't like when people say they're in Toronto and then they say they're in Markham, because when I try to sell things to people in Markham, they say I'm too far away from them. So they're not in Toronto.
Okay, well, if you say Markham, most people don't know where Markham is. If you say Toronto, most people know where that is.
Yeah, I know where Markham is. So
yeah, well, All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change screens so that you can see. So basically, it's plugged in through a USB cable into my little mini PC. But what we're going to do is I'm going to switch cameras. Can you guys see that okay? Trina, is that coming out okay?
Yeah, it's looking fine. Okay. By the way, One Bit Fever Dream has a question. This logic analyzer looks real cool. Is there also an emotion analyzer?
An emotion analyzer? No, we keep making one, but Trina keeps breaking it, so we stopped.
It's all my fault. Yeah.
Although you could use this and be very happy, it'll fix your emotion.
There you go.
So here's the software. It's up running. I have little. Okay, so here we go. I'm not sure if you can see it well enough. Let me see if I can maybe adjust my screen a bit. Let's do that. Make this way so that you can kind of see the whole screen. I'm sorry, I should have had this set up before the stream. All right, I think that's good. So it connects to the serial port. You can select which serial port. You can manually select it, or just select open device. It will detect it. When you install the software, you have to copy a file onto the under the peak onto the Pi, and then that will auto detect when you click open device. There's
There is a serious question from Al's Retro Geek Lab. He wants to know what is the name of the analyzer and where can he purchase one?
I will put that information at the end, but I believe it's on. You can get the board on PCB Way, and you have to buy the Pico. I believe. I'm not sure if they will, if they offer the board with the Pico on it, or you have to solder it yourself. I got my two boards from a friend of mine in the UK. He has a channel called Happy Little Diodes, and he did a video on this. And he ordered, the minimum is 5, and he sent me 2. So I didn't order it from PCB Way, but I believe if you go on their site and look for Dr. Guzman, and you can just have that sent to you. Now that you
I do have a follow-up question to that.
yes,
Does the person who make it not sell it themselves?
no,
Okay.
yeah, they don't. He's not selling it. I guess he's writing the software and he continuing to enhance the software and make a lot of cool things to it. So I don't think he wants to deal with doing that. Although
Okay.
I have been trying to get a hold of him so that I can say, hey, I would like to, work with you if I could sell them in North America, give you a cut, whatever, and then have him on your site, Trina, and Joe's site, and go from there. So that hopefully I'll have some more information that'll come up soon as I hear back from the gentleman.
Okay.
Any more questions? Well, that's it, I think.
Yeah. Oh, and hello to Frederick Micro Hobbyist.
Hello, Frederick.
And we got Bonjour Francois.
Bonjour, Francois, and bonjour, Frederick. Okay, so back to the software here. I'm using the Logic Analyzer 6.5. It's a beta version, but it's been working really good. I just figured I'm going to use this for the stream, and I'll show you why in a minute why I'm using this one. Anyways, to get back to the connections, it connects to the COM port, so it's a USB port. You can have a network, so if you're using Wi-Fi, if your Pico has the W and it's a Wi-Fi, you can connect to it via Wi-Fi. And multi-device. Now, multi-device is cool because you can have up to 5 of these boards connected together. So, for example, if you have 2 of the, one is 24, you can analyze 24 connections. With 2, you have 48, and et cetera, et cetera. So you just keep adding them up to 5. So it's quite a bit of data you can collect with these things. So now that it's plugged in, I'm going to connect to the device. So
Dan, he's our man.
Oh, Dan, he's our man.
Yeah, he's in the chat. He said hello to you.
Hello, Dan, our man. Nobody can do it. No, only Dan can.
And he said he is calling you, hi, Rudy, the SQL dude.
Oh, yeah, he's Dan. Dan's the man from my work. Yes, we work together.
Okay.
He's a very smart, intelligent guy. If you need something for your network or servers or whatever, then he would be the guy you can outsource your whole company IT to.
He would have been screaming at me when I cut a network cable out of, because I couldn't pull the cable out of my hub, so I just ended up cutting the cable.
Yeah, I would have been screaming too. Lucky I missed the stream. All right, so now that we're connected to the device, it's showing here is the Logic Analyzer Pico 2 V65. So Pico 2 is the type of Raspberry Pi, and version 6.5 is this new version, the beta. I'm sure it'll be live or mainstream soon. So we're connected, right? Okay, so now what? Okay, so what we would do here is we can go to Capture, and we can select what we want each port to be, and we can type in whatever you want to type in. You can select things, you can turn them off. In this case, actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cancel here. Before we get into that, the version 6 has profiles now, so you can actually create a profile saying, okay, I want the setup for my SE30. So I can just go, I have one here for the SE30. I have one which is the data and signals with reset. I have one for the CPU of the Commodore 64C. We'll get to this one later. I'm going to show you that too real quick. But let's look at the SE30. So I can load the profile, And if I go to capture, all the stuff I've already entered has been saved. So I have channel 1 is address 0, address 2 is address 1, etc., etc. And then I have down here, I have additional signals that I want to pull off the board. So I have the bus error, the strobe, the read write, bus request, bus acknowledge, bus grant, data grant, and reset. And the reset is very important because it's going to trigger. So the edge, I put the edge trigger is on 24 here, set there, and 24 is on reset. So when the reset signal changes, it says, okay, I'm going to start collecting all the data now. Now, the other thing we can do too, this is running at 200 megahertz. We can change this to blast mode. And what blast mode does is it changes it to 400 megahertz. Basically, you're turbocharging the Pi. Hence, on the Pico, I put a heatsink on it because it gets really hot. But you would run this all the time. There's something, if you really want certain things to look at specifically. Negative trigger means that if this is set to, if reset is set when it's high, for example, then you might want to change this to a negative, or vice versa. So depending on what you want to do, but we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. So let's leave it back the way it is. And a sample is 2, and post samples I put to 10,000. So you're going to get quite a bit of data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click accept. All right. And then as we see here, we have buttons to repeat the last capture or capture. We were just at capture to configure it. We can abort it if we want. But right now they're grayed out. And why is it grayed out? Because I have the SE30 powered off. Now, as soon as I power it on, it's going to detect the reset signal and then start loading up. I just turned it on. Let's wait and see. And boom, we have data. Now, here we can see we have all the channels and they're labeled as to what signal's going on. And here is the reset one. So as you can see, the reset signal changed from negative to positive. And that's telling the computer to, okay, we've reset, let's get going. And you can see the signal has gone up here. Now it's high. And this is a reset. So it's I call it a minus reset, meaning that it's on active. It's active when it's low. So right now it's not reset, but when it's low, it's in reset mode. And as you can see, we're collecting all the signals that we've set up. And we have sample screens. So here we can adjust the screen and see what's going on. We can actually, adjust this. Oh, look at that. So we can see that, okay, so it booted up, right? So it came on. And at this point here, it actually did a reset. And that's why all the lines have gone down to 0. Now, if we scroll along, we can see here that when it came out of reset, so now it says, okay, you go ahead. We start collecting data. Now, the reason why this is very important on a processor is that when you first turn a computer on, there's garbage in memory and wherever on the bus. So you want to make sure that everything's calmed down. Then the CPU says, okay, reset. It clears everything, and then it starts to run the computer itself. And
all right, Dan, have a good night.
See you, Dan. See you on Thursday. Because I'm off Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday. So we can collect, we're collecting data now. If we're saying, okay, so that's nice, but I want to see what's going on right now. So what we could do is we can pick the last capture. So it's going to capture again. Oh, and there we go. So now it's not triggering on the reset because reset is not, it's not in reset mode. It's running, the computer's running, and we can see here all the lovely signals and see what's going on. And we can see that when the computer is turned on, that address 0 is not doing anything. And we can see how the different addresses and data buses, how they're reacting. See here, for example, there's a quick blip over here of what it's doing. I'm not sure. We'd have to spend more time looking into that and seeing. Again, this is not a troubleshooting live stream. I'm just demoing this board and what we can do with it. The other cool thing with this is that it shows you here, it shows you the frequency that you're sampling at. Total samples is 10,002. Pre-samples are like it's going to wait for 2 samples to go through before it starts collecting. Post samples is 10,000. Channels I'm using is 24. The triggers on the edge on channel 24, and the value is positive. Now,
can I just quickly interrupt? Eric's
you,
Edge popped in.
yeah, hi Eric,
And
welcome.
Eric was asking, people have answered this, so we don't need to really worry about it, but he's saying, is a logic analyzer used like an oscilloscope? And people have already kind of answered his question in the chat, but I wanted to mention that Rudy is using it with the Peaker board that he designed with the wonderful help of Gutbaum and a few other folks. And guess what you can use on your Peaker board, Eric? An oscilloscope.
That's right.
So,
You can use
yeah.
this with your oscilloscope. Like if I quickly change back, let me just quickly change back to here. So with your Peaker board, hold on a second. Let me grab something pointy, but not to poke my eyes or my hands out. On the Peaker board, you have, let me just zoom back in again. I showed this at the beginning, but we'll go over it again real quick. On the Peaker board, you're going to have LEDs, and they're signifying the address bus, the data bus, and all the additional CPU signals. Now on the Peaker board, like for example over here on this data lines here, we have the LEDs that are going to flash as it's doing its thing, but we've also left spots here where you can actually, there are holes on the board, or like a regular board that has nothing soldered in. They're just holes here that you can actually put your probe on, and you can use your oscilloscope. Now, what I've done with mine is I actually put these headers on all of them. I put headers in, so I can still use my oscilloscope, but in this case, I can actually plug in wires in, so I can hook it up to the logic analyzer, and that makes things so much easier because, as you know, on the SE30, well, this processor here, it's almost difficult or almost impossible to actually collect signals. You can't easily, put your probe on. Well, you could in the back, I guess, but it's real pain and difficult to do, where the Peaker board allows you to get all those signals onto a board that you can actually visually see. So if you want to see what's going on when it's booting, you can see that. You can also get the voltages for your power supply. And based on what's happening, like, for example, we're seeing lights flickering here, right? And that's saying, okay, this board is good. This is supposed to be doing this thing. And that's great. But if I want to get more depth, if I want to know more about what's going on, like, is this chip behaving properly, or is it just flashing light because it's garbage? Well, with a logic analyzer like this one, you can then see what's going on, and you can monitor more than one. Like oscilloscope, if you have a 4-channel oscilloscope, you can hook up 4 probes and then monitor them and see the differences of the signals. While with this board, in this case, we have 24 lines hooked up, and I mentioned earlier, you can have many more hooked up, and you got up to 5 boards, so it's 24 times 5. That's a lot of signals to monitor. So hopefully that answers your question, Eric. Now I'm gonna go back. Oh, wrong mouse. Gotta use the right mouse, Rudy. Okay, so real quick here. So yeah, you can edit these. You can change the captures. You can change the labels, what you want to trigger on. A lot of cool stuff. You can change the sample. You can make even more. Like I can put this.
Just before you continue on with that, Eric said, yes, it did. Thanks.
Excellent. Another happy customer. The frequency is it's 200. You can change it with the blast mode, make it 400. There's a burst mode. I'm not going to get into everything here because there's a lot you could just play around with. Now they have preset stuff in here too. So, for example, if you're doing audio, you can look at certain things. For example, MIDI. You can actually then set it up to your outputs and inputs for MIDI and the sample rate, et cetera, et cetera. So you can plug many things. These are pre-configured. So that what this means is that, see here, when I go to capture and I have to set this up, right? These are already preset. So for example, they have one for automotive. They have, for example, you have, what else? We have clocks.
Carther just has a question when
Yeah.
you get done there. Carth, we're just wondering, is it possible to decode signals there?
You can decode anything that you can put the logic probe on. So, for example, if you have a serial port or a parallel port or a mouse port, for example, or even a network port that's not acting up, and you want to see what's going on, then you can use this to see as a like basically you're sniffing the signal, right? You're actually capturing it. Hopefully does that answer your question? Yes, no, maybe. So
I'll let you know when
yeah,
Carth responds.
so
Yeah.
you can capture anything. Like right now, we're just capturing signals on the computer, but you can use this for basically, like for example, you can use it the serial port or a parallel port. Now, there's a way which I haven't tried yet. I haven't tried it. I wanted to play with the serial port and a SCSI port, and there's a way that you can set it up. Now, I don't know, so please don't hate me too much, but you can actually set up so that when you type in, you can type in a code. Like for example, you can put, let's say, 011011, or sorry, 01100110, and when it detects that signal, it'll start recording and showing that value. You can also have it sniff so that when it shows this signal here, it will actually show this in a binary form. So okay, this is saying this is the handshake, this is the acknowledgement, et cetera, and then it would display at the top. I haven't play with that yet. I don't know enough about it, but I figure for a lot of people, just this stuff alone is pretty amazing. And I'm going to show you in a moment how I use it to figure out I have a bad CPU on a computer. So this is basically what I wanted to show. The software is free. The current version is 6.0, but I'm using 6.5. You can go to the GitHub page. I'll leave a link in the description of the video once it's done, and you can go there. Or just Google it on the GitHub, or search for it on GitHub, and you could find the software. Download it. It's pretty simple. Like I said, the only thing you have to do is you have to have Python installed. So once you have Python installed, you have to record where the path of the executable is. And then in the software itself, you just create a config file and paste the path, and that's it. And then it just runs. And I played with it on my Windows box, and I played it in Linux. I'm using Linux Mint a lot with it. So it works great. I don't have a Mac to work with on it. So
I just want to quickly say hello to Anthony Den, who has joined the chat.
Hello there. How's it going? Hope everybody's good.
Oh, and by the way, Carther said, cool. It answered the question. So.
Cool. Excellent. So, yeah, I just wanted to show that part off. We're going to get into the 64 in a minute. But what I also want to show you is that I'm using these cables here. So they basically have connectors on, they're just female connectors on each end. So I plug one into the board and one into the peaker, or you can plug it into the adapter. So you can find these clips on eBay. I'm not sure if anybody else has them, but you can get these clips, and then you just go from the board. Well, let me switch it around. So you can go from the board to your clip, and I use different colors. So in this case, I've been using red for, although showing up all as orange. That's weird. I have orange and red. The red is the address bus, and orange is data. Is the data lines, sorry, address lines and data lines, and I have the white for the other additional signals. And I'm using different colors because it makes it easier for when you're plugging the wires from something into your board, because you can easily mix them up. So color coding is actually really cool, a nice way to not mix things up. And if you do get mixed up, it's only in this case I've used orange for the data, the data lines. So I know, okay, orange one's messed up. Okay, so it's one of the data lines that's messed up. All right, let me just switch that cable around, do whatever. So that makes a big difference. The other thing is I'm developing this board. It's not quite ready yet, and it's an adapter board for this, for the logic analyzer. And what this does is it allows you to plug in two logic analyzers, one on one side, one on the other side, and there'll be a 90-degree angle header on here that just basically plugs in. And with these holes here, it allows you to, you know what, let me just switch cameras. So it's a lot better. All right. So with the angled, let me see if I can zoom in a bit. Okay. So there'll be a 90-degree angle on there. So if I take, let me just unplug that. So if I take my unit, I can just plug it in like that. Like that. It'll just snap right in. And then the headers on this side would connect to that. Then you have all these other headers, all these other positions here. You can actually hook up, not headers, positions. You can put header pins. You can put sockets on here. And then from there, you can wire it up to your whatever you're testing. You think, well, why would you want to do that? Well, let's say you have one logic analyzer, but you want to test two different things. Well, because these are coming 5, you'll have more than one. You can then plug one in and set it up for, let's say, your SE30 peaker board, for example. And then you can actually unplug the board, the logic analyzer out of this, leave this aside, get the other board, plug it in, and then wire it up for your Apple II, your Commodore 64, your Tandy computer, or your DOS computer, or whatever you want to plug into, serial port or whatever. And that way you have to unplug all the wires all the time. You have to sit there, unplug all these wires and plug them all back in and which way they go. This way you can just leave this alone, plug it in, and then when you're done, you can just unplug it and plug it into the other board. So, hold on. So these are bad, but so, you know, you get 5. So now I can have, I have 2 of them. I can have one for the SE30, one for the 64, one for something else, blah, blah, blah. And that way you're just moving the logic analyzer. You don't have to worry about rewiring everything. Now, the other cool thing is that now let's say you have surface mounted stuff. It's like, okay, well, you can use these clips, and these clips clip on the ICs, and that's great, right? But what happens if you have something that's, you know, lower profile? Well, you can use this. And what this is basically the female connector here, and these have these little things you squeeze, and it just grabs the leg of the chip you want to look at. Now with this, then you can actually have the headers on this board if you want. You can just plug them into that way, or you could do something else. There we go. Yeah. So when you buy a EEPROM burner programmer, you get these adapters. Oops, sorry. You get these adapters, and these adapters, they plug in over the IC with the this clip, and then you plug this into your programmer, and you can read it. Well, on this board, you'll be able to use the same cable, and now these are cheap, so you can actually plug it into one of the sockets. So I have sockets. I have outlines for sockets here, right? So you can plug it into that socket on this, and then use this side to plug it in onto your surface mount stuff. So on the board here, I can just go like that, and I can just clip it on, and there it is. So it's on a surface mount chip. I plug this into here, and then I have my analyzer, and then I can run the software, and I can see what's going on without actually having to remove that chip. So that's kind of neat. So this is an adapter board. It just kind of enhances this as opposed to just having this kind of janky thing hanging around and doing stuff. I've put holes on here, so if we can put feet, maybe, and get someone to 3D print some kind of custom case for this. But the nice thing, reason why I did 2 is that because you can put two together on here, well, I have to, and you can make them work together. So instead of having only 24 ports, now I have 48. So I can get 48 signals. I can monitor a lot more. Now, if I have another board with 2 more units, now it's 48. It's just doubled it, right? And then you have one, you can plug one more, a 5th one. So that's quite a bit of signals you can collect and monitor and see. What else was I going to say? Yeah. And then what you would do is that, so if you clip on something, so let's say in this case, I'm clicking on some RAM. Okay. I want to see what's going on in the RAM. Well, I can just get a data sheet for the RAM, and I know what the pinouts are here. This is, you know, your address 0, address 1, 2, your voltages, your CAS or CAS, and RAS, CAS, write, etc. And then from there, you can then just go back to your, hold on, let me just switch camera real quick. Where am I here? And then here from your software, you just go to your capture, and then you would just assign, okay, so I want to make this address A012, whatever, CAS, RAS, write, whatever. You can just change all the labels, and then you just wire them up as per your diagram of your data sheet, right? Now, where am I going back to here? Yeah, so you just wire it up onto here, and then you just plug in your clip right on top of it, or you go. If you have these clips, like I said, these are kind of getting hard to find, but you can find. I found these on eBay. I don't remember the seller. He only had the one set, so you just you put the wires right on here, and you just clip it onto the chip, and off you go. And then you can start reading in data. Now, I'll be doing more experimenting with this. I'm going to play around with the serial port and parallel port and the SCSI port. Well, now, why do I want to do that? Well, because I'm just weird that way, and I just want to play around with some things. And oh, Trina, what are you doing?
Oh, sorry, I was standing.
Hey, this is a family show. Come on.
I'm just standing up to put.
Yeah, you're standing
away.
up.
I'm like, I'm
you
not
want
on
people to
camera.
give more money to
stand
your
up and-
go coffee me, right? You troublemaker, you. All right. So
you didn't have me on camera, so I'm like, great, this is the perfect time for me to
the minute
stand
I
up
do,
and
now
put
you know
away.
why I don't. Oh my goodness. Let me give me just a quick second so you entertain. I'm going to switch the boards around here, get this off the bench.
Hi, folks. My name's Trina of Trina's Technobabble. Welcome to my stream that I've just taken over.
Hey.
This is where the points don't matter. I don't know what's going on. So actually, while you get that set up, let me tell you. So I did a voice chat with a few lovely folks. Mark of Millennium Max. And,
hello, Mark.
Oh no, he's not here. I'm just saying I
Oh.
did a voice chat with him. He's in the UK. He's probably sound asleep by now.
Probably.
But I did a voice chat with him through Discord, and Frederick of Micro Hobbyist fame, and then a friend of mine, Dana, because they were going to help me learn how to use OBS yesterday. So what was supposed to be teach Trina how to use OBS turned into a 2-day voice chat, because then they're like, Trina, you should put in another video card in your computer.
Why?
So I tried, and the computer didn't like it for the life of it. And then eventually today we found out that, guess what? The video card is not supported on my Mac computer.
But why do you need another video card?
Because we were having issues, and instead of rebooting the computer, they're like, oh, maybe you should just install another video card. And it turned out I didn't need to install another video card. So I have literally my whole work area got torn apart. So I'm slowly kind of getting things back together. That's why I was standing up, putting things
Trina,
away.
you have video cards I'm trying to sell there too, right?
Yes, you do.
You could plug that in.
I could plug that. Well, actually, here's what I'm going to do. Go to my website, which is computerswithpride.ca, and buy things. Just buy everything. I once did that. I had somebody contact me about a one video card. I won't say the amount, but it took me 3 boxes to ship everything that they bought off my website. So Trina was a very happy girl with that one customer.
Nice.
And I wish that was kind of a weekly thing, but unfortunately not.
I'm going to make myself big again.
Yeah, go right ahead. I'm just cleaning up, so you do.
All right, so on the bench is a Commodore 64C. It's the cost-reduced version. Hold on. Set it up so you can see it better. Zoom in a little bit.
And the reason it's the cost reduced?
It's cost reduced because they use a lot less chips. They've combined chips, like this is these what's called.
No, I was going to make a smart ass comment saying cheap.
Yeah, so they basically added even more integrated chips into one, so to make it cheaper,
nice.
Right? So it's cost reduced. So what I've done is on my second logic analyzer is exactly the same. I've used my clip and I've set up all the signals on here and set it up onto the logic analyzer. Now, what I'm going to be doing with this is I'm going to plug it onto this CPU. Now, this is the CPU. This is the 8500, which is the same as the 6510. So what I'm going to do is make sure I plug this in correctly. And this just goes over it. That should be connected. All right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug that in, let it light up and do its little thing. Okay, so now I'm going to switch cameras. Reason why I'm plugging this one in is, hold on, there we go. The reason why I'm plugging this one in is because this is not working and I want to play around with it, and I figured, oh, let me just hook it up and see what we get. So I've plugged in a different device that has the same software and so on. So I just click open device and it found it, as we can see here. And then I can go to profiles and say, look, I've created one here. This is for the Commodore C64C, which is cost reduced. So C64C CPU 8500. So if I load that profile, we can see now on the capture, there are different signals. So I have here, instead of having A1 and A0, A1, 2, 3, I have ready, IRQ, NMI, and then I have A0, A1, et cetera, and then data, the data from D0 to D8. I also have the clock in and the clock out and reset, and I'm triggering on the reset. So what we can do now is I can say accept. Now see here, it's great. Oh, was this thing turned on? Let's repeat the last capture. There we go. Okay, so is that coming out? Okay. Wonder if I make this a little bit wider. I don't know.
That looks fine.
Yep. Okay, so here, as we can see, again, it's the same thing. I've changed the sampling rate is the same. I've done 10,000. You can go higher. The frequency is 200, but that's the megahertz of the Pico, of the Pico 2, sorry. And everything else is basically the same. So if I accept, it's going to recapture again. And here we go. It's captured. Now, what I want to do here is I'm going to say repeat last capture. Now it's grayed out. Now when I power it off, sorry, repeat capture, and now I'm going to power it on. And now it's showing me the signals when it powered on. See here? So it's showing me all the cool signals. Although this is not working, that's why it's ending here. There's something wrong with the machine. So if I look at this, we can see it's going high, and then it goes low. So it's coming out of reset. So at this point here, moving forward this way, we should start seeing signals. But we get to this point way over here, and we're seeing nothing. Why? Well, after looking at this earlier, I realized that this machine is nuts. So we're not sure why it's sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm going to recapture again.
Is that the official tech wording for it? It's nuts.
Yeah, it's a little crazy, it's a little nuts, it's a little messed up. It's a little, I don't know, it's a little bit on the wild side.
It matches the owner quite well.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just I'm better looking and have more hair than the 64 does, but that's on my back. I was
gonna say we're not talking about your butt.
No. So here we see that we see some data going on. We see some the data signals are going on. We see let me back up. We're seeing data on the address lines. We're seeing data on the data lines, but we don't see much on here on the D3, 4, 5, 6, 7, D0. They're all blank. Like they're all, see if your mouse over tells me that it's low. See the signal is low. See here it tells you, it says high. I can't point to it, but It says right there, it says what the signal is, and it says state, high, etc. So I'm getting the signal coming in, right? Here's a signal that's coming in, but nothing's going out. See, it's flat. So this should be sending a signal out. Now, the other thing to look out for in this case is the ready signal. And this ready signal is high. And so he's thinking, oh, so what? This should be oscillating like this, because when this should be actually low, and then going high, because it's saying to the video chip, the VIC2 chip, that okay, you have access to the memory, and it's like, okay, that's enough. Now I need access to the memory. So it should be going up and down. This is not going anywhere. This is flat. So it's telling me that there's a lot of weirdness going on, and probably it's a bad CPU. Now I'd have to, I would pull it out and we can test it. And so I'm not going to do it tonight. But in this case, the board is, let me just switch cameras here. So in this case, it's socketed. So I'm going to pull this off, and it's socketed. So I can actually just pull this out, replace it, and test it and see so forth. And so forth. However, if the chip was soldered in like this one, let me see if you can see that. See, this one is soldered. Well, I could then just plug in right onto that and see what's going on with that before actually having to desolder the chip, right? So I would have a better understanding, is there something going on with this chip that needs it to be desoldered? If not, I'm not going to desolder it. But other ones that are socketed, like this one and this one, the CPU, you think, okay, well, there's a problem going on. We can then pull it out. We can get the oscilloscope if you want to check other things on here, or we can use a logic analyzer to, again, do more. So, yeah, so it's not just for the peaker board. It's for anything you want. Again, I can hook it up to in this case, the tape port. There's a serial port on here. You can hook it up to, your Apple IIe, for example, or 2 Plus into a slot and see what's going on there. So this is not just a specific, it's only for, a type of computer. This would be great for anything, including like I said, I'm sorry here. I don't know what I'm doing. Where we go. So yeah, this is good for basically anything. Okay, what are you doing on the floor there now, Trina?
Oh, just picking up stuff that fell as I was moving.
All right.
Around.
Yeah, so that's basically why I wanted to show everybody. What time is it now? I don't even know what time it is.
It is 7:47 Eastern time.
Not bad. We got some time still. But anybody have any questions on this? Anything? What do they think about it? Does it need something to be interested in? Is it something that's they're not really interested in, or they like to see more of? I also might do a video on how to use a logic analyzer in the future, explaining, okay, this is how you would use it. This is what you would do for doing diagnostics. Right now, I just touched the surface and all this stuff. It's kind of like learning how to use the oscilloscope. There are people out there who actually explain it properly. So I haven't found a lot on the logic analyzers. Now, you can buy the big logic analyzers that are just, this massive unit that you plug in, and it does the same thing. But, this unit is so cheap and it works so cool. It doesn't have a built-in screen. So, it's not like the oscilloscope where you have a screen, you can just see it right away. You have to use a computer. But, I mean, for the price you're paying for this is totally amazing. And I was just blown away. So Trina, do you see anything in the chat? Do we have any questions?
Yeah, Eric said, where do I get started understanding how to diagnose logic board issues?
Where do you start? Okay, so first you have to go back to school for a couple of years. No.
Actually, can I
Yes.
give an answer? That's not.
Let's see if it's the right answer. Go.
I'm going to say tinker different, both the forum and the Discord.
Yep.
There's a lot of amazing people there that can help you kind of give you answers and kind of get you started on the right path.
Well, that's one. Two is
Yeah.
watching YouTube channels like mine. I had done repairs on mine, or
There you go.
me or others that just do a search of some. Let's say you're repairing, I don't know, your Color Classic, for example. I'm just making something up here, or your Coco 2. Well, there's videos of people doing repairs, and you can just follow along, and then you get an understanding of what they're doing and why they're doing it. Like, why
Yep.
is the reset signal important? Why is the clock signal important? Why is NMI important? What is the importance of the data and the data lines and the address lines? And if there's a conflict, what happens? So there's a lot of good videos, and what you learn about doing digital diagnostics can be applied to anything, right? So the concepts are the same. The computer might be different, right? You might have your RAM over here, another one have RAM over there, your CPU's there, and this, and so on and so forth. So the way it's integrated might be different, but the logic behind it's the same. So if you're looking at an 8-bit computer or a 4-bit computer or 64-bit computer, the way you would diagnose it would be very similar, if not the same, right? You'd want to make sure that you're checking when you're first turning it on. Before you turn on, you want to make sure it's not shorted. You want to check your voltages on it. Is it getting your, in this case, plus minus 5 volts, minus 12, whatever. And then you would go from there. So, and the other third thing I want to bring up is your friends, right? If you want to work on something, just call me up on Discord, or we'll do a live stream together, or whatever you want. And I'm more than willing to help you out and give you some pointers and say, hey, check this, and why would you check that, etc. And others, there's tons of people out here. All our friends would be more than happy to sit down with you and kind of show you how to go from there and what you should look at. Hopefully that answers your question, Eric.
Yeah, he said thanks. So it sounds like you did.
Nice.
But yeah, I always, when people ask like, where do I get started with this? I'm always like, Tinker Different, because there are amazing people on that.
Yeah, there's
both the forum and the Discord.
Yeah, the amazing thing about retro community specifically, but anything electronics, there's always someone out there who's done radios or TVs or microwave ovens or vintage computers or whatever, cars or whatever, and they're willing to share their knowledge and even willing to help out. So if there's something that you want, you can also check out forums like on your Facebook or on Discord.
I wouldn't recommend Facebook.
I don't know. I don't use Facebook, so
yeah,
I just I gotta go on Facebook. It's like no. I look in the mirror and it's my face. Okay, I'll book a time to see my face.
Book a time.
Yeah. So there's all kinds of people around that more than willing to help out, and that's why I think that's one reason why I do my videos is because I like sharing stuff. It's like if I can do something to help you out, perfect. And for me, it's fun to do and play with. But if I can get someone else to help them out, even bigger bonus. So just don't be afraid to ask, Eric. Just reach out, or not just Eric, anybody. Just if you're working on something, reach out. Maybe I don't know, or maybe Trina doesn't know, but we'll know someone else who does, and they're more willing to help out.
And also welcome back, David Bradley.
Oh, David Bradley, welcome back. Hopefully you saw the 64 demo. I did it. The 64 didn't do a repair, but just want to show you that it can be used for anything. Did anybody else join?
No, that was it.
It, eh? Yeah. Okay, so we're coming up to almost 8 o'clock, and I know people are busy, so I want to say thank you to everyone who came, and I want to thank Trina for kind of co-hosting this with me, answering all the questions because I'm busy doing all the other stuff. I got to get my setup a bit different here. I have a monitor on this side, which is the live stream, and I have a monitor on this side, which is all this computer, garbage. And I would like to have eventually to have 2 monitors side by side, so actually I can see what you guys are talking about and answer them, and then on the other side would be what I'm working on. I could show you, right?
Hey, by the way, if you go to Computers with Pride, I have 2 monitors. I'm willing to sell you, Rudy.
I have 4 monitors right now. I don't need another one.
You need another 2 just for your
no. I have my video card. I got the second port working, so I can show what I want on the stream on my other monitor, but the problem is that I can't show what I'm working on the same. Anyways, it's something for me to work out.
I just put a link into the chat for i8386SX's stream
Yes.
because he's going to be streaming in 6 minutes.
Yes. So
I'm also
please
going
go
to
there. Make sure you go to his channel and check out his videos. Subscribe, like, and do the same thing in this one, please, if you don't mind.
And I'm also going to put a link in my doodle. So again, I am trying to get a, let me give you the name of it. It is a, I don't even know how to say it, ZOYI. It is an oscilloscope multimeter 3-in-1 fancy Madoodle thing. I'm going to put a link to my coffee goal in the chat. If you can make a donation, that'd be greatly appreciated.
I will also, after the video, I'm not right now, but so it's Dr. Guzman, Gusman. Just do a search on GitHub for Guzman Logic Analyzer, and it'll pop up. But I will definitely put a link in the description for this live stream.
Sorry, how do you spell it? Gusman?
Like Gus, Gusman, Gusman.
Okay, so if I do a search for Dr. Gusman, that brings up a lot of results.
Yeah, do Dr. Gusman Logic Analyzer.
There we go. Perfect. Found
and
it.
It should be a GitHub page.
There is a GitHub page.
I'm
pulling it up now, and I'm going to put a link in my doodle in the chat for you.
Thank you so very much. That's great. Again, everyone, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. I haven't done any videos lately, but I really want to get this out because I really want to show everybody the cool fun you can have playing with this stuff. And hopefully have a great day. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Bye. Hit the end stream.
Why?
If not, we'll never end.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service.
It's not ending. Why?
Did you hit end stream?
Yes.
You got to hit it twice.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service.